and a lot of staff as well, we really want to make sure that the transition, especially this year, runs smoothly. Transition any year in early years is really important because they are our youngest learners in school, and we really want to get the transition right to support their move to the next level, to the next year group. Especially in the current situation, transition is more important than ever. By the time we come back to school, these children will have had quite a long time off school, and so we really want to get it right so that when they transition in a smooth manner and also in a way that they're going to feel comfortable and confident coming back to school. So for those that don't know me, I am Mrs. Gray. I am the Acton Early Years Leader at Capital School, and I'm also a teacher in FS1. I've put my email address here. Feel free to email me any questions at any time, either to do with transition or anything to do with early years. And so we're going to start today by looking at what we can do for transition. I'll talk a little bit about what the school is going to do and some plans that we have in place. And then a lot of it today will be tips for the parents, so what you can do at home to aid transition. And like I say, we do have Ms. Gallagher, another teacher, on the line. So if you think at any point you've got a question, please use the message tool. Write your question in. No question is silly, no question is too big or too small. Please just type it in and we'll come to it at the end. So I'm just getting the final parents in from the waiting room. So let's begin. So we know that smooth transitions make a big difference. There has been so many studies and so much educational psychology around transitioning children into their next year group. It's a big move, like I say, in any year, but especially this year, we really want to focus on it. And when I talk about transition in the early years, we might have some parents on the line that actually are new to joining Capital School, starting in September. Hopefully we're back. And so we're going to be looking at how we can transition new children into their first year in school. We're also looking at the transition of our FS1 cohort, who we currently have, and transition them up to year FS2. And then obviously we also have FS2 children, and we're transitioning them to year 1. Lots of information will be very transferable between all the years. So no matter where your child is, what point they're up to, the transition information is general for all of the children in FS. So we need to help your child understand the coming change. So it is a big change for them. You will notice that the teachers have started doing transition activities. And although they may seem like small activities to you and quite straightforward, they're really important for helping your child get ready. This might be stories, songs. It might be looking back over their current year to reflect on their learning, and it might be looking forward to their next year, maybe introducing themselves to a new teacher, maybe talking about some of their talents or what they're good at, just to really give that their next teacher a bit of sense of who they are. You'll be receiving some year group videos. We're working hard at those at the minute. These are really important to play over the break with your child. Over the summer break, I thought if it was in a video, they can play it as many times. There will be information in these videos, such as their pictures and videos of the new learning environment. There'll be pictures and videos of things that will stay the same, things that will change, especially FS2 to year 1. They're going to be having some big changes. For example, having an upstairs classroom will be new to them, having their toilet outside the class, where they need to leave the actual classroom to go to it. So even though this seems really small to all us as adults, this is really important and real big change for our children. So we really want to make them aware of that and make them comfortable and confident with it. In this video, you also have a little bit of a meet the staff. Ideally, we would do this in school, but obviously with the current situation, we are going to do meet the staff via photos and videos. Before the summer break, you will probably receive photos. It won't be of your child's teacher at the minute because we're still doing numbers in classes. Again, it depends on the numbers that we have in. So what we thought to do is we'll do meet the team. So your child will be able to see the photo or the video of everyone in that team. for example, Meet the FS2 team will have the 5 teachers, and you can get your child familiar just with the different faces and the fact that they will be moving up to a new class. That leads us on to our next point about class allocation. So we know that it's really important as much as we can to keep the children in the same classes. So FS1 children, we want to keep them in the same classes as much as possible so that when they return to FS2, they'll see all those familiar friends. And the same goes for FS2 to year 1. Obviously, we have to say that this is dependent on numbers, and class allocation will be allocated on a first come first served basis. So for example, if the FS2 class fills up and then you decide to enroll your child, obviously if that class is filled up with their classmates, they may have to go into another one. If this does happen, we always try and keep at least a friendship group together, someone that's their best friend. So if you've got any concerns with that, if you've got a concern about your child, maybe meeting a lot of new friends, you can talk to your current teacher and say it would be great if they could stay with and give us some ideas. Again, we value your ideas, we value your input. So if you can think of something like this, get in contact with your current teacher and they'll feedback to me with it. But as much as we can, we really like to keep the children in their classes the same. And what we'll do in light of this is we'll always keep you informed. So we know, we've spoken the last few weeks, that everything is dependent on the current situation, on KHDA, on anything that we get from the ministry. So our job and our promise to you is that we will keep you informed. Anything that we know, we will always communicate with the parents. And there's no, best kept secrets. We're not holding anything back. As soon as we know, we will definitely be in touch. Because it's a joint partnership that we've got going on here. And the most important thing is just talk about the upcoming change with your child well in advance. So the photos, the transition activities, this is really just to get them prepared. And I know it's a few months down the line and the summer holidays will seem like that's nice and long, but it's just making sure that you drop it in naturally and seamlessly into conversations and really get them excited for it. What you can do to help your child understand the coming change is do some reading. Like I said, teachers may be sharing some transition stories. These are other books. Now, I will send everything that I go through today in the PowerPoint out, so you don't have to be writing these down, but these are some lovely stories that surround the transition idea. And they're really child-based and they're really nice to get the children excited for this move and this change. So I'll share this with everyone. So it's things that you can be doing at home. So showing your child how to use any materials that he or she is not familiar with. Most of you moving from FS1 to FS2 and FS2 to year 1 that are already in school, you'll know what we kind of do in school. And again, it's just that continued practice with it over the summer so the skills aren't lost. For example, using child scissors. And when they go to school, when they move to FS2, when they move to year 1, we really promote those independent skills. So if there is any skills that your child may not be as familiar with, or just need a little bit more practice with, just encourage to build it in over the summer, just in fun, engaging ways. We know that being around other children, we talked about this when we looked at their personal, social, emotional needs last week, that this really brings them out in terms of making relationships, in terms of working with others. As the lockdown starts to ease and as you maybe be able to see other children, it's giving them that experiences that will help them become more familiar with meeting new children. For example, if it's feasible now, you might want to visit a park or a play centre with the child and encourage them, to talk to other children and say hello. It just will really get them used to it when they come back to school. Show or teach your child how to ask for help. This is really important, just to give them that tool so that they are ever stuck or they don't know what to do, that they can just ask. We always make sure that we give this message when they join our class as teachers, but as parents as well, for you just to reiterate this message to them, to know that they can always come to us, they can always ask for help. Practice some short separations from your child. Maybe leave them with a responsible adult. I'm sure mums and dads would love this one. Yeah, sure, I'll go for a coffee. Let's get them ready for school. And it's really just, it sounds so silly, but just building that in over the summer months really will help them not being able to not seeing you as much, because they've had lots and lots of amazing mommy and daddy time recently, and we just need to build them in now, start getting them transitioned that they won't see them as much, but they always come back at the end. So getting them to practice following some simple directions, because obviously in school we use timetables, we use quite a structured day compared to at home. So being able to do the same at home will get them ready. And encourage your child to make some simple choices, such as which shoes to wear, which of 2 toys to play with, or which of 2 foods to eat. Again, in school, we really value choice, and that the play is child-led. So being able to choose, for example, using shoes or toys or food at home will really help them when they come into school to show us how they want to learn. You know, are they going to go to the construction area? Are they going to go to the creative area? It's all about choice in school, and we want them to feel confident that they can make their own choices. They don't have to rely on us to kind of move them towards different areas. They've got that ability to make choices themselves. So some important things that you can start helping with also is re-establishing routines. We all know that routine has slowly and surely started to go out the window, and during the summer months, I'm sure even more so. So as we are nearing coming back to school in September, all being well, then we want to just re-establish some routines such as bedtime, mealtime, and we say especially like getting up and having their breakfast in the morning. Now we say at least 1 week before school starts, but it's usually as long as you can give them, the more that usually they'll be with it. And just prepare your child and talking about them. Again, it's all about that communication, talking about it. You know, when you're getting ready for school, you'll be getting up every day, you'll be having your breakfast, then you'll be going. And again, it's just making it fall seamlessly into the conversations that you will naturally have with your child. Include some pre-bedtime reading, maybe some household chores. If these are suspended during the summer, it's just building that back in again so they get used to it. Turn off the TV. Now, we're all love our TV. I'm a Netflix queen myself. But in the morning, what we say to get them ready for coming to school in the morning is turn off that TV in the morning. So encourage your child to play quiet games, do puzzles, flashcards, read some early morning activities instead of watching TV. And this helps them lean back into this learning process in the school routine. So maintaining this throughout the year is key as well, but really to get them used to not getting up in the morning watching TV. We all know it can be really hard for them to finish that program, turn off that cartoon when it's time to go to school. So if they've got more passive activities, the less passive activities, the better. And this is really important because again, this helps them with the routine and getting used to what they will see when they come to school. And that's just selecting a spot for them to keep things such as their bag and their lunch boxes. And it's really building on that independence and looking at the children, looking after the things and getting them into that routine. So this is where it goes. Because when they come to school, they will have the same thing. It will be, here's your peg, this is where your bag goes. You want to take off your jacket, here it goes. And you're really teaching them those independence and responsibility skills. So it's finding somewhere in your home that you think that's where it goes and giving them that responsibility. Review your child's learning. Now, we talked about the parent and teacher relationship, that homeschool connection over the last few weeks during the parent webinars. And we really want to make sure that we keep that up. So as teachers, we promise you that we will keep you as involved without the teaching that you'll have to do. You know, we're not going to continue that, but we'll keep you as involved with what we're doing so that it naturally sparks those conversations between you. We know what it's like. When the children go home, what have you done today? Nothing. Just played. And that's usually what you'll get. But as we keep you involved, you can review your child's learning, you can celebrate any milestones with them and keep engaged with the skill. So contact your child's teacher. They'll have a new teacher this year, and it will be difficult for parents as well because you're so used to their current teacher. We've had all this time together. You see it's all on Zoom and we're messaging a lot. So it will be a big change, but all the teachers at Capital School are so committed to their children and their care. And every year we start our new class and we build up those relationships again. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher, you know, whether that's through emails, dojo, phone calls, really get that relationship going and see how you best communicate with your child's teacher. It will really enhance your child's learning experience. You can also get to know the staff. So familiarize yourself with the other school professionals. the early years lead, the principal, front of house, inclusion team if you've got any children that may need some additional support. So it's really familiarising yourself with that. And again, your class teacher will be your point of call for that. Let your children know you care. If your child is anxious about school, just reinforce that ability to cope. Children absorb their parents' anxiety, so model optimism and confidence in your child. Even if sometimes you don't feel it, we all have to kind of put that mask on and be optimistic for the children, and they'll read the signs from you. And let them know that it's natural to be a little nervous. The same way we tell children, it is natural that sometimes we get cross, sometimes we're fed up with things. These are natural feelings, and it's the same with being nervous. When your child comes to school, they will have their teacher there. They'll cry, they'll be nervous, they might tell us, yeah, I'm fine, but we want to tell them as well, the same message that you're giving at home, where it's okay to feel nervous, and we really vocalize their feelings, because sometimes when they're so young, they can feel it and they can't vocalize it. One of an example of this is a lot of times when children feel anxious or feel nervous about something, what they'll get a sore tummy. So they'll be like, I don't feel well, I feel sick. And usually what that is anxiety in the stomach. So it's just about us recognizing sometimes that these signs that children may be showing us inadvertently is actually then giving us a message. And again, we'll work with the teachers and the parents together and really ensure that the children have that ease in. This leads us on to this, so try not to overreact. The first few days, especially in FS, they're probably going to be a bit rough. We'll have some criers, we'll have please don't leave me, but when they get into school, you'll see it. Teachers are trained for this. We can help them adjust. If you drop them off, try not to linger too much, just reassure them, give them that message that you love them, you'll think of them, and that you will come back. And as long as you verbally give that to them, I will be back. There may be a few tears, but Miss Gallagher and myself will tell you they don't last long. Once they go in, they see their friends, they see toys, they see lots of activities going on. I don't want to say you're very soon forgotten about, but they settle very fast. And again, this might be, they have had a great day, the next day it might start again. They might be fine coming in for a week, and then all of a sudden week 2, they've had a weekend off, they're feeling tired, it might start, but this is all completely normal. And please don't look at other children and they're all walking, skipping into school, and my child's crying, there's something wrong. Every child is going to deal with this differently, and after the 6 months off, again, they've had all this wonderful time with mummies and daddies, some of them are going to find it difficult to come back. So keep that line of communication open. Again, reinforce your child's ability to cope and give them some strategies. Again, with teachers, we have been talking about how we can now use what we've learned in this experience. So for us to keep connected with the parents during this time, we've been sending videos, photos. We've had some ideas between the teaching staff that if a child was really struggling, they were really anxious, maybe having a little video of their parent, just giving them a little have a good day message. And if they are showing signs of being upset in school, we could show it to them. So we're really going to be moving with the times now with this to really help the settling in school so that we can get off to a real fast start and hit the ground running. Again, this is going back to, let's see what's safe to do, and let's see where you're up to as a family and as a community. But arranging play dates can really help. So arranging get-togethers with some of your child's classmates, either before school starts or during the first few weeks of school, to help your child re-establish those positive social relationships with peers. Then it will help them come back to school the following week, knowing that their friends are going to be there. It takes some children longer than others to make their relationships, and that's absolutely fine. Every child in early years is unique, and we will support with every child that needs it. If you've got any queries, please talk to the teacher. And finally, it's stay involved. We'll have lots of things throughout the year, ranging from stay and plays to school trips to activities in school, Christmas concert, and some celebrations for the parents. And just stay involved. Let your teacher know if you want to volunteer for things. We love it. We love having visitors to the class, coming in, reading the children a story. You will be amazed to see how proud children are seeing a parent sit in front of the class and read a story. And it gives the teachers a little break as well. They don't have to read to them that day, and it really builds that home school connection. Even if you can't volunteer regularly, let them know that at some point in the year, if you were able to, you could come in. We'll work around your schedule as much as we can. So finally, all we want to say is really keep this home-school connection strong. We've worked really hard over this period, parents and teachers alike, to keep and develop this relationship, and we want to keep it going when we come back to school. So I hope there's some nice activities in here and some nice tips of how we can help with transition. Again, going back to what I said at the start, we will keep you involved. We know that it's very important that you know as much information as you can to help your child. So I'm going to see if Ms. Geller has any questions. Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. I'm just going to pop you on mute. No, on mute. Just unmute yourself again, Ms. Geller. Nothing. Let's see if I can get in. If any parents have any questions and they're live on here and you want to unmute yourself, I'd be happy to answer. Let's see if we've got any. Let's see if I can get in too.